Hello Scientist Nation, we are back with another part of Getting Started series. In this part 3, we're gonna create Azure database for MySQL and we're gonna export the data from in-app MySQL to Azure database for MySQL server that we'll be creating, and then we will also be handling the security aspect of that MySQL. Alright, so I hope you are already on your Azure portal, but by some chance if you close this, you can always go to portal.azure.com and you may need to log into Azure portal if your session is expired. Once you are on your dashboard, you can click on create new resource button and search for MySQL here. In the search result, there will be a couple of offerings by different companies. We are looking for Azure database for MySQL, and publisher should be Microsoft, and it is in the category of database. Alright, click on this option. Once you do that, just click on create. In the next window, as usual, it will ask for a couple of configuration parameters. The first one is server name. We're gonna go for Scientist Z here. The next one is subscription, which is already selected. Select the resource group. We're gonna go for the Getting Started series group. Next one is select source. We have two options, blank and backup. If you already have a backup, you can choose this option and backup will be available here in the next panel. But since we don't have any backup here because it is a new deployment, so we're gonna go for the blank option. Once you select the blank option, now you have to enter the username and password for server admin login. Choose this wisely. Don't use any common names here because this could be used to attack your MySQL server. For our case, because it's the testing purpose only, so we're gonna go for MySQL admin, and I'm gonna enter my super secret password here and also in confirm password. Make sure you put a very good and strong password here, and make sure you back up this information because we're gonna use this information to connect to the server later on. Okay, so next step is to check the location. Verify the location is the same as of your app service plan. Go to your resource and check the location here. The location is East US, so it is verified that it is the same. It is in the same location. The next one is the version number. By default, the latest version number will be selected, so we will leave this as it is. The next one is pricing tier. So by default, it is selected as a general purpose, which is good for if you want a consistent performance, but if you don't want the consistent performance and you are going for testing up development purpose, so you can choose the basic one. Basic one support only 2 cores maximum, and we're gonna go for 1 core even to save some bucks here. As you can see that now our cost is 96 SAR. There is another offering, memory optimize, if you want to go for that one. So for us, we're gonna go for the basic one. So the basic one have the locally redundant already enabled. The most important point is here that once you select the basic one, you will not be able to upgrade your pricing tier to the default one. So make sure you choose it wisely. So once you are ready, click on create and it will send the deployment to Azure. Right now the status is accepted, and we will be back once the status is created. Okay, we are back. We'll refresh and status is created. Now we will go back to our resources and check it out. Click on your resource group and you can see that there are 2 resources, and in addition to the one which is MySQL, click on it. By default, there are some database created there. When there is any activity in MySQL, you can see the activity in the resource utilization section. Click on enabled Under SSL info status, this will lead us to the connection security window. In firewall rules section, we will add new rules so that it could be accessible to anywhere in the world. The IP address we're gonna use is the start IP will be 0.0.0.0 and in the end will be 255.255 4 times. Disable the SSL connection because if it is enabled, it will not work with WordPress right now. Click on add client IP address to add your current IP address, but we also added the any rule so that you don't need to repeat this step again and again. If you go back to the related post, all these steps are mentioned in great details. This post could be useful if you prefer text version of this video. Link to this post is mentioned in the description below. Now as you can see that our next step is to configure the outbound address for our application. Let's go back to our app service. Click on properties. You can see that there are a lot of IP addresses for our application. Next, we are going to add these IP addresses in connection security section in our MySQL firewall role one by one. Once you are done, click on save to enable these rules. This video have two parts and we are at the end of part 1. Now our next step is to migrate data from MySQL in-app to our newly created MySQL server, which is coming up next in our next part. Please like and subscribe the channel, click on bell icon so that you can get our latest video as we post it on YouTube. If you have any question, just comment below and we will be back as soon as possible. Please stay tuned and we will see you in the next video.